Outer Orange.
I had some people go like, where's this archaic content? So I was like, yeah, whatever. I guess we'll just try Magnolia Mask today. So let's go do that. Привет, всем, welcome back. All right, so I haven't spent as much time on this deck, but I did spend a little bit of time. I kind of played with some friends casually just to see how this deck is, and it's pretty okay. I will say it's kind of one of those one and done things where you kind of explode on your opponent and then you get a little stuck. It is a little clunky, but we're gonna go ahead and kind of go over it. There's probably multiple ways to build this deck because it is Stoicheia. Stoicheia just has so many toolbox approaches. I chose to go this route, but you can also, you know, go whatever route you want to go. Sleeves, I'm using these. I've showed these before. These are the Yukio sleeves that my friend got me. I have multiple of them, so I just kind of throw them into some ride lines. And then for the actual sleeves, we're using these bunny sleeves. And then for the box, we're actually using the Vanguard Game Genetic deck box. Very solid deck box. I did a review on it quite a bit ago, a different color of it, but I did a review on this deck box. Also it's pretty useful. The only downside to it is they can only use it for standard decks, but if you want to use it for standard, this is very useful. Back to the ride line. So we got the starter, and nothing too crazy here. Start can be whatever you want it to be. I chose to opt to go into the order ride line. So I chose the order ride. Then you can run the regular Magnolia ride line if you want to kind of get more units on the board faster. I prefer the orders because I'm a big Habitat fan, so I'm running this. Basically, Soul Blast, draw 2, discard orders. So just a very nice early start, especially if you're going second. And this deck doesn't mind going second with the mask in mind, so I like this order line. So then you got the Husk. Husk lets you get orders back to hand, so whatever you pitch here you can pick back up. So very nice, and that's all he basically does. And then we have Magnolia. Honestly, you won't really be using this skill too often. It's just mainly there for the name. At the end of battle, when you attack, you can counter blast, pick a rear guard in the background, have it attack, and basically that's all it does. If you persona road, you can choose 3. You'll never, unless you're running an extra copy of this, you'll never really be using the second effect, but it's basically just there. This deck does counter blast a lot, so chances are you won't be using this counter blast, but it's there. The name is the important part. Let's go talk about the actual cards. So we're running the mask, definitely the part of the deck that you care about the most. During your turn, all your rear guards with Dragon Tree markers on them can attack and get 10k. So basically you want to scale on these bad boys right here as fast as possible, and then they can attack and just be very aggressive. It makes a lot of numbers. It's basically a 15k back row, and yeah, just very aggressive. Then you can remove a Magnolia, get basically this Magnolia, and get the effect of whenever your rear guards attack a Vanguard, you can also retire one of your opponent's rear guards. Well, the downside is if you're only running one of these, you only get that like one turn to do that, and that's basically it. And then to be decks that resist, obviously it just doesn't matter. Decks that can't be retired, basically that effect just offline. Play one of those decks where you kind of call full board, go wild, and basically shut your opponent out of the game really fast, or you do absolutely nothing and kind of sit there. The upside is if you're given a lot of damage, this deck explodes in your face. And I mean, actually just explodes in your face. The downside is this deck doesn't have really good draw power, unless you're going like super crazy on the draws, but the draw power is a little weak and you're very reliant on having a board, and you kind of have to keep refilling the board. There are ways to replenish it. We'll be talking about it here shortly. And that's what I'm saying, like this build can change. There's actually multiple ways to kind of build this out. This is one of the ways I have it built out, but I actually had multiple ideas behind this deck. But this deck is more standard. I feel in the future, if this deck stays, there actually might be even other options to play that would make more sense. Also, something to keep in mind, because this deck is so aggressive, if the meta ever shifts to where it's super aggressive, I think this is one of the best decks to take in terms of just aggro. I've noticed on Twitter, on JP's side, some people have actually been talking about this deck more and more, saying that it's actually not as bad as people think it is, just because of the amount of aggression it provides. But we'll kind of get into that here shortly. So next in the 2 slot, we have this new card. This card's pretty good. It's a little hard to read, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it for you. There's one unit is placed on rearguard circle other than during the battle phase. If you have a Vanguard with Magnolia Mask in its card name, you can counter blast, choose a Great 3OS card from your drop. The same number of Dragon Tree markers are called on your rear and call them to rearguard circles. So choose Grade 3 or less cards from your drop up to the same number of Dragon Tree markers on your rearguard and call them to rearguard circle. So basically, you can just call a bunch of cards depending on how many markers you have. And then once you attack, so you usually play rearguards with Magnolia's card name, get it at 5k. So the second effect is not locked to which Magnolia you're on, so you can actually do this earlier as well. But usually you want to do it when you're on the mask for the first effect because the on place is just really nuts. Very good card. Basically punishes your board. This card's very nutty. And now there's also a promo coming. JP got it. We didn't get it quite yet, but when that promo comes out, it makes this card and just everything else even stronger. But overall, just a revival card. This basically fuels your engine pretty well, and also just the 5k to the Vanguard is really nice, as there's other cards that also give power to the Vanguard, so this just kind of adds on to that. Next, we're on the Elwith. I think this is better than the Cow, the grade 1 version of this in this deck particular, because this deck likes to have the 2s on the board more. Also makes just better numbers. That's just me personally, but Elwith card basically says when placed, counterblast, soul blast, get one of these, and then search your deck for a mask, which is one of these, and then you just shuffle, and that's basically it. This is very important because you really want those markers on the board as soon as possible. Also, and you can keep in the back row, just have it attack and stuff like that. You can also get it off a habitat since it's not placed and just kind of go crazy. And you just got a couple approaches. I think getting the mask out pretty quickly is also important. So I value this over the cow, but you can run the cow as well in this slot. We have the goat. I really like the goats. This is basically inlet. A lot of people run inlet, or some run inlet, some don't. I actually value the goat over inlet just because you can keep cycling this back and forth and giving the additional 5k to Magnolia, which I do think matters. Makes Magnolia just a lot harder to guard. And I also think the draw is really nice. The fact that self retires and it replenishes itself back. There's just so many things about this card that just work really well. I just really like it. But this is basically a different inlet. You can try to fit both. It's a little hard. This deck's very piece reliant and want to have a smooth engine going. And the deck's already got so much going on that I think you can just get away with this. But up to you how you want to do it. And that's basically it. Just to go. Also, it attacks for really good numbers. Inlet doesn't have the extra 10k that this card has. So if you put in the back row with a mask number, so it'll be 15, it'll be 10 on its own, 20 with its effect, 25 with the mask, and then 35 with the additional Magnolia effect. So this gets really high. And then also if you run the one grade one that gives persona to back row, now it's 45. So this gets really huge. And then also it retires itself and draws you a card. So it's very nice. Next one, Clipping Dragon. There's a sheep that could be run in this slot. I personally do not like the sheep because it forces you to have a whole board of grade 2s, and that just won't always happen. The sheep basically says if you have a board of grade 2s, you can countercharge soul charge. I like this card better because you can just shove it into soul and then soul blast it out and bring it back out and just keep doing this over and over again. And I just like that concept of it. It's only the only restriction is you have to attack 5 times. No, it just in general exists as a 5 to 6 attack deck, so you should hit the 5 pretty easily. I like the Clipping Dragon. You can run the sheep, or you can choose to run no countercharge at all. Up to you. I do think there should be some countercharge until the promo comes out. The promo comes out does countercharge, but I think until that comes out, this should be your other countercharge option. I do think you should be countercharging. This deck does go through counterblast like crazy. So I am running the Sanctitude in here. This is the PGs, nothing crazy here, just some PGs and the Sanctitude. The Sanctitude is basically a blitz order. And then we also have the Persona Ride, a place you can soul blast and check top 5 for Magnolia, which is actually very important. You do want to see mask pretty quickly. So if you happen to not with it with this, then you have another shot. But the second effect is pretty important too. On the board, if you persona road, the persona riding affects your back row as well, which is also, it's continuous. It's very important. Makes the back row just insane. This is the main reason I don't run the sheep, because the sheep forces the grade 2s, and this is a grade 1. It kind of just shuts down that situation all the time. I also like that soul blast because it can soul blast these out. So soul blast out the goat, which I think is very important, getting the goat out pretty quickly. So we run 2 masks. There's only really room for 2 right now. Yeah, you just want to see at least one copy to just be able to do the persona ride with the mask, and then just kind of call it a day. After that, it just becomes ditching or just order searchers, just order stuff. Next we have the habitat. This card's insane in here as well. This card's just really good in most Stoicheia decks. In here it's really good since you're going to be constantly searching for certain pieces. Most are on place abilities, so then you have a lot of just really good options to kind of grab. This is a really good thing to target. This is a good thing to target. Obviously the new dragon is a really good thing to target. There's quite a few targets that are actually pretty solid, and you just overall just want to see cards on the board a lot, so this is just a really good card to do that. It's also just a deck thinner, and again, for the ride line, helps you draw more cards. And then also, again, you can also grab itself and then basically deck thin and use it again on a turn later. And yeah, just a lot of value out of these, so I really like them. Our triggers, we got the over trigger, nothing too crazy here. Well, you know, it's the OT, and then we have 4 heals, and then after that we are also running some draws. I value draws in this deck over fronts. Some run the rainbow triggers. I actually don't think you need the rainbow triggers. I think the fronts are very awkward sometimes. There's a certain kind of like attack pattern you want to do where you're constantly giving 5k to Magnolia, and sometimes what happens is that the fronts just don't activate because of how you're attacking and the setup, and give you a little weird. So I actually prefer running the 4 draws, and after that just going 7 crit. I'd even say you can even go 8 crit if you want, and just utilize on the 1 less draw if you want. I don't think that's bad either. Or yeah, you can go the fronts or rainbow or however you want. There is actually a lot of different variations of how to do this. I don't feel like there's a lot of wrong ways. You don't need the soul crits. I'm running them just because they're just in here as an extra clutch, but you really actually don't need these at all. You can more vanilla crits if you want. But yeah, that's basically the triggers. We're gonna do a quick mulligan. All right, let's roll. I got a 3, opponent got a 1, so we'll be going first. Let's go ahead and, oh, that's a lot of orders this time. So we're actually gonna probably send back these three and draw. I was tempted to keep the mask, but I'm not gonna lie, I kinda we have a very high chance that we'll probably hit it later on anyway with the Elvis, so we should be fine. But we're going first, so we're gonna draw. We drew into a mask. I'll give up a crit here early on, do the effect, and then we're gonna soul blast, draw 2 cards, and then, oh, here it is. and then we'll drop the habitats. They'll give us a damage. And now it's our go. We're getting these Elvis, which I'm actually very happy about. We'll go ahead and ride here. We'll probably just go and straight up play this. So we're gonna go get a mask. Now keep in mind, keep the mask in the back row. Don't be stupid and put in the front row. Like I've done it before. I'm like, oh crap, I'll just forget. Because normally you always want to keep in the front row. This is the one deck where you actually want to keep in the back row. So we'll go ahead and do that. Grab our mask here. And then if you don't want to be damage denied, you can push this back and just swing and then hit the draw, because draws are great. And then they're going to give us probably one singular damage and pass it back along to us. Now here kind of is a little weird spot here. We don't really want to ride up to mask yet, I would think. We actually just want to kind of farm a little bit. These markers going. So I'm actually going to go ahead and play this first. Notice I gave up the mask because he actually prioritized this. I actually dropped the mask just as a discard fodder. You'll almost never want to use that. We have 2 Magnolias in our hand, and even though their target is out with, and we've already seen 2, so we're not gonna. Chances are we're not gonna hit. We probably might, but we're probably not gonna hit. Like, see, like if we did top 5, we actually would have whiffed on this, but here we actually get it. So we have 2 options here. We actually have multiple options here. So off of habitat, we have this really awesome card, this really awesome card, this really awesome card. Go ahead and grab the Elwith here just so we could set up that mask condition pretty ASAP here. Gonna go ahead and just use the effect, counter blast, soul blast. We're gonna I actually don't have all my mask trees, so we're gonna pretend this is a mask tree. We're gonna search our deck for that order that we literally just saw and add it to our hand and just pass it. And then we're probably gonna swing with Magnolia and pass here. Now, this is where, like I said, this is where the deck is kind of a little funky. You have a lot of options. You can kind of move up and attack, or you can call some cards, but I think we're not going to commit super hard. We're actually just going to go ahead and swing, hit a draw again, hit a heal, which is actually pretty big. We'll definitely get rid of that clipping, slide it later, and then, yeah, pass it back. So we're going to take some damage. We hit a clipping, hit another draw. My goodness, these draws are coming through. Probably take 1 more damage. I need that card. Just because we do want to start, like, using our counterblast for stuff. We do have another Elwith that'll be coming out, and we have a goat in hand too, so we'd be pretty good shape. We'll guard a little bit here, pass it back to us, draw a card, got another goat. That's really awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and play well, before that, let's go ahead and activate our persona, because I just realized we don't really have too much soul to work with anymore. So we're gonna go activate persona, the mask ability, 10k off of the persona. Now here we're basically just gonna set up for our push turn as much as we can. We're gonna start with the Elwith here. We'll go ahead and counter blast, Soul Blast out. We could probably Soul Blast out Magnolia here. We don't have any more of the mask orders, so we'll just obviously whip this effect. So that's fine. And then here we don't have that wonderful dragon, but we can still kind of set up. We got our goats right here, so we're definitely gonna call the goat out. And yeah, I guess we don't have anything else to do, to be honest. It's kind of funky that we didn't see a singular dragon, so I think here we'll probably just call the goat out and just go in. Now, we can use the Magnolia effect removal thing, but I actually think we could probably hold a turn. It's kind of just up to the situation. I think here we're pretty okay. Oh, we could play a mask, because we didn't actually do that. We could just play it for funsies, and of course we didn't hit anything. Well, no surprise there. We're actually gonna go swing this way first. There's no reason not to. Nothing on our board says that we need to swing it a different way. Sure. This is the, you know, I've been doing a lot of deck profiles today. This is the second time on Mulligan I hit the over trigger. So we had a front, do a heal here. We'll heal the dragon out. We do draw twice. Then we drew these 2, and then yeah, we have the 100 mil somewhere. Yeah, pretty nuts. And then there's the dragon. Thank God we need that. So there's that, and then yeah, the board got pretty big here, so we're gonna swing with these, swing with the back row here, let this die to draw a card, hit a heal, and then swing with these, and that was basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attacks. And yeah, we'll just pass it back to our opponent. We'll definitely take some damage here. We're okay with taking damage. Wow, there goes our Magnolia. We're probably gonna block with these. We do have another Magnolia in hand. It'll probably be our last turn, to be honest. We're gonna go ahead and guard with these, probably drop the Sanction to guard some more, and then just pass it back to us, and this will probably be our last turn. This deck is very fast and kind of just closes out games. We had another heal, so it would have been okay, but we're gonna go ahead and persona again, draw a card, and we did hit another dragon. That's really good for us. But first we'll go ahead and plop down this this habitat here, see what we find. Oh, we also, because we rode, I totally forgot about this, but because we rode, we actually get the goat. Let's put the goat in. This is why I like the Soul Blast card, because then it gets them out and then we can use them here. But yeah, let's go get that goat out. So that means Magnolia herself goes up to an additional 10k off of the goat's effect, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we can choose one of our guys to get +5. So yeah, so anyway, back to the habitats. We have 5, 6, 7 cards. So up to us what we want to grab here. We do have a lot of good options. We have the dragon in hand already. So we actually either get habitats, the persona, or the goats. I'm actually gonna say, let me see how our hand's looking. The persona card. That way we have the extra power, because this is our last turn probably. If not, we're gonna deck out anyway. So this is definitely probably our last turn here. So we're actually gonna go ahead and grab this. We don't need to Soul Blast, but honestly we just can, just for the funsies. And I just realized we can Soul Blast it out with this ability, which is actually one of the reasons why I really like that skill. We're obviously gonna whiff because I think we're out of Magnolias, which is perfectly fine. That's a-okay for us. And now we get to do all the fun stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and call, kind of have a couple options here. We can call the Elwith first, probably. Counter Blast. Soul Blast. Again, we're gonna Soul Blast the goat. Obviously we're gonna whiff, but we are gonna get that wonderful mask, which is ideally what we want here. So we'll go ahead. Our back row's really covered, so we can probably place it here just to make this a magic number. And then we can, honestly, we don't even really need to use this card, funnily enough. But we can just use it anyway. I don't know. We can just use it here. It does get the effect for the skill, like we just get the extra power on our Maggie here. So yeah, we can actually, I think what we'll do, we'll actually probably do it with this. We might even proc 2 here just for the extra. But we'll just call this out. We really don't have any other good targets to call out aside from itself. We could probably call another one out just because these just make Magnolia just way more impactful. This is our last turn, so this is just kind of offline for this game. We have this active, which means our back row has Persona now, which is also really huge. So these numbers just got massive. And then every time these attack, this gets bigger, which is another reason why I don't like the fronts, because right now this is in the front row. We just don't have a choice because the goat needs to be back here. But this has to be up here now because these are in the back. So basically when we attack with this and we say we hit a front here, it would be very awkward to use it because this is already offline. But I think the strategy here is we want to start here and basically give this another 5k, so we'll just give it a stack. Oh my god, this Vanguard is about to be huge. So give it a 5k stack. So this is swinging for 15, 25. Oh, one more thing. We want to remove the mag. So here we're going to remove the mag for the effect. So now everything retires. This is really important because you do want to activate the retires in case they have intercepts. So this is 15 on its own. 25 off mag skill, 35 with the persona skill, and then we'll swing again, stacking this one more time. So now this is huge, and then we'll probably, it's up to us how we want to swing from here, but I'm actually going to swing here again, stacking this one more time. So now this is huge. Let me just make sure I'm reading this right. Okay, yeah, I am reading this right. I just want to make sure. So then we'll attack with this. So ideally, you probably want to go this way and then back row because this is the smallest, but it's okay because this is only 20. Then here, we're going to swing with Magnolia. Magnolia is huge. She's 35, 45, 48. We just have twin drives, so nothing too crazy here. We do hit a crit. We could probably put the crit here, maybe put the power here just to kind of make the numbers really annoying. And then after that, we will swing with this. So this is 13 on its own, 23 off Magnolia's skill, 33 with the trigger, and 43, and then we'll end it back here with the crit boy right here. This is again 15, 25 off of its own skill, 35 with persona, and 45 off of the dragon tree effects that it has. And then yeah, we just retire it and draw a card, and chances are we die. Yeah, we die after that, so that's basically the end. But very, very, very huge numbers. They all just get huge. Some people run Teddy as well, just to kind of help with the numbers, because then you could just make the boards even bigger. Overall, just a really fun deck. I think it's got a lot going for it. It is, I think, depending on meta, it can matter a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have shop code Orange, there's a big Black Friday sale going on right now, so stay tuned for all that. There's a lot going on. It's hard to explain everything. It's just so much. So just go on the website, just check it out for yourself. And code Orange if you need anything. I hope if you want to just go crazy with it, have fun. It is Black Friday time. It's holiday season, Christmas coming around, all that stuff. Code Orange for your goodies. On that, guys, let me know below how you feel about this deck. If you're playing it, if you're trying it, if you think it's good, if you think it's bad. A lot of people think it's kind of not too good. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think it has potential. I like it because I just like Starkea. And yeah, but anyway, that's all I have. Peace out. That's Vidania. I'll see you guys in a future video. Bye.